So doing a quick comparison today between two boards I've been kind of riding back and forth. Kind of similar boards in some ways and so different in others. The LibTech Ejack knife and the Nitro wood carver. Both are great boards for like groomer riding. They're both mostly camber rides. The Ejack has a little bump coming down in the middle, and this just has a touch of early rise. And when you press down on it, the nose rocks up more. Both boards really turn well, really have good grip, and really are fun if you like to turn. But they turn in two different ways. This turns kind of like a straight liney, drivey turn. It's more across the groomer, and straight liney, long S turns, and that's kind of its thing. And then when you get in tight spots, it doesn't really like those quick turns through bumps. It doesn't really float super well. You kind of feel that camber like this as you're going through, even when you're set all the way back. Now the wood carver really has this kind of like super deep side cut. It's super turny. The minute you lay into a turn, it just goes, you could carve a circle in a second. It almost surprises you. Feels like it's gonna be hooky. I keep getting worried because, you know, boards with that kind of side cut sometimes can be like a little hooky, like the tip and tail keep wanting to engage when you don't want them to engage. But every time I did a long flat run and I had to do not like a massive straight line, but just go straight for a long period of time, it never hooked up on me or felt too sketchy. Even with these brand new edges, barely detuned it, just gave it a little bit across because it came out super sharp. Just got rid of this like little extra bit of side cut. Both really grip well because this has a little extension in the edge and sharp edges, and this has kind of like a mellow mag. Both have that camber, so that can bite into the snow pretty well in the tip and tail. In tight spots, I didn't like this. In tight spots, I would think a stiff, camber-rich, aggressive board like this, like almost all camber, would be really tough in the tight stuff, and it's not. And I was really surprised. I thought the Ejack would float a little better than it did, and it didn't. The more I rode it in powder, the less I liked it in powder. It's not bad for a camber board, especially with all that setback, but you do feel like that nose is wanting to go down. Neither of them felt like this, but I was so surprised at what a stiff board, how quickly it could turn and negotiate through tight spots and trees. It's a super fast turner. This is kind of medium edge to edge. This can go edge to edge super quick and then turn really quick. If you just hit a clump of trees and you're not going to make it through, you can just go like that. Where this just feels like you're definitely struggling with that. So, you know, that's a tale of two great groomer boards. I would say this, I prefer this a little more. Both pop really well, but if you like more of a drivey, big air, kind of straight liner, kind of longer carving style ride, this is going to be the call. If you like tighter circle carves, really turny, really quick, and you see a little bit of powder, you want to be able to set it back and get some decent float and kind of hammer through the trees. This isn't going to really just jam in the deep days, but it's going to be pretty good for what it is with all the camber and the setback. That little early rise helps, and it's way better than I thought it would be in powder for what it is. It's still not great. It's still not an epic. You don't get this to ride powder. You get this to carve groomers, and you get this to carve groomers and bomb, and you get this to if you're more of a turny kind of guy. So there you go. For me, I personally prefer the wood carver, and just feel it's a little more versatile of a board. But I feel a lot of people could really like the Ejack knife for harder snow and for groomers and for really bombing it. Maybe you know, hitting a kicker, going big. If you're more like me, more of a turny guy, you're gonna like this board. So there you have it.